Welcome to Real Estate Done Rightish. I'm Jen.
And I'm Annalie. For a combined 30 years, we've been working in this industry just trying to figure it out. By figuring it out, we mean...
we're working on navigating listing presentations with confidence while Annalie is one clogged drain away from becoming a frontier-era pioneer woman.
Oh, man.
Okay, you have to tell them the story.
Okay. Well, this also kind of goes into we've not been here for a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Part of that was I've been taking care of my mom after a surgery, so I've not been home.
Yeah.
And we were just talking about, I'm walking around with like bags full of my life because I've been bouncing around everywhere. And I went home to shower today, and my tub was just full of the water from the last time I took a shower. Not full, but there were a couple inches of cold, gross.
Okay, do you want to hear these other figuring it out ones then?
I guess.
ChatGPT gave us some. So by figuring it out, we mean showing up to appointments, praying no one notices that Annalie hasn't showered because her bathtub currently has the water quality of a forgotten bird bath.
I mean...
Kind of trying to coach clients on luxury home features while Annalie's own shower looks like a swamp auditioning for Stranger Things. Pretending we have our lives together, even though Annalie had to choose between standing in cold, dirty water to shower or showing up to work smelling like a lightly seasoned realtor.
I like that.
Walking into appointments like professionals while Annalie's hair is giving very much, I rinsed it in my sink because my shower was hosting a stagnant water festival. These are pretty okay.
Yeah. Okay. I will say, I showered.
You're a very clean person. You're very
yesterday.
Manicured person.
I just wanted to go home and fully get ready today, and I was pretty bummed because instead I threw my hair in a ponytail and put some dry shampoo in it.
Oh,
so that's
on
what we're
that
working
note,
with.
Hold please. Where is it?
Did it say something about dry shampoo?
Yep.
Well, it's a girl's best friend.
I don't use dry shampoo. Makes my head itch. It says, trying to figure it out by selling $1 million homes while Annalie is one shower away from Googling, can dry shampoo replace running water?
Yeah, I mean, my water works. My drain's just having a little problem.
You use dry shampoo a lot?
Yeah, because I have really fine hair, and it actually helps make your hair
zhuzhes it up
thicker.
A little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What are we talking about? Oh, before we talk about what we're talking about, follow the podcast, like us, give us a review if you're listening. And also, I think even more valuable than that, if you're enjoying it, share it with somebody. Or if there's something that's helpful and you're in the industry and you know somebody that could use a little help with their dry shampoo tactics, pass along the pod.
Or we would love it if you shared it on your social media. If
tag us. Follow us on Instagram. You guys
share the love.
Stalk us,
it would
but
be
don't
so
stalk
great.
us. Yeah.
Because if you like us, your people might like us.
Yeah.
Your real estate friends.
Somebody asked me the other day about this podcast. Mm-hmm. I haven't had a chance to tell you this yet, but I'll tell you this now.
Can't wait.
And they asked the classic question, what's your goal with this?
Mm-hmm.
Do you want it to take off? And I said, well, I don't not want it to take off, but we started this because we thought it'd be fun. And we've talked about, I don't know if we've mentioned it on here, but one of the things, if this quote unquote took off that I would love to do would just be live events. Mm-hmm. Whether it's live vision business planning plus live podcast episodes, or it's a women's event, or it's a...
We've talked about even retreat.
Yeah.
Mid-size, not,
I'm all about let's do some things that are fun and laugh and build community, but not in the cliche build community way. So anyways, so when you guys share this podcast, it helps the opportunity that might be able to build something, more fun.
Yeah.
Okay.
So before we get into it, do you want to hear something really funny?
Oh, I do.
So I was getting ready.
Yeah.
Not showered.
Yeah.
But, trying to put myself together to come and see you today.
You're way more together by me. By the way, if you're not on YouTube, I have a hoodie on and sweatpants and no shoes right now. And I wore my big, chunky boots in, and I literally was I look unhomed right now.
I think you look great.
I mean, I look fine, but
yeah, you're great. But you
don't want to
showered
around. I mean, I showered yesterday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So we're in the same boat.
Okay, anyways.
So every time we sit down to record, we have to adjust the lighting to figure out how to make me not look extremely dark and you not blend into the wall. Because you're very fair skinned. Yeah. Well, you're a redhead. Love it. I just want to let you know that I changed to my winter powder color today.
Oh, thank
So I'm
God.
officially a lighter person.
skinned?
Yes.
Okay, good. Well,
I
then
go from like a medium dark to a fair, and like I
you do have
I
a
get really
wide
tan.
range of skin tones.
So I just want to let you
in
know.
your repertoire.
So I want to let you know. I think I'm much closer to your color.
You are.
Than I am in the summertime.
I also am wearing fake tan stuff right now. So look
You
at us.
Are?
Yeah, it's just like the rub-on kind, you know?
What other kind is there?
When you go to the lady that sprays tan you.
Oh, I've never done that.
Do you want to hear my story about that?
I don't really need to do it because I get tan without even trying.
Good point. Okay.
Okay.
Should we move on?
Yeah, I think so. Let's save whatever happened to you in a spray tanning tent for another day.
Tent.
Don't they put up like a little pop-up
on
tent?
the side of the road, and they asked me to get naked, and I went in. It wasn't weird at all.
I think I've only seen anything to do with spray tanning on like the Real Housewives shows. And, like a lady comes to their house and puts like a little pop-up tent up,
She has like a shop.
and then she sprays them in it.
Yeah, there was no pop-up tent on the street.
No, not usually in the streets. Usually in their living room or like somewhere in their house.
Imagine the corner of Minneapolis.
Yeah, I can. Actually.
Okay, let's
Could happen. Okay, let's get into it.
God, it's taken 7 minutes to get this far.
That's all right.
Okay, good.
I think it's great.
Okay.
What are we talking about today?
We are going to talk about what's called the economic model. This is from the Millionaire Real Estate Agent. Really, it's the basic handful of metrics that we need to have in order to have a roadmap for our business plan. And how much money do you want to make? How many units do you need to sell? What information do I need to plug in? And honestly, once we go through these, I think well, I don't want to jump in too far. So we're talking about that.
Yeah, it's the numbers.
It's the numbers.
Of
What are
your
the
goal
basics?
setting.
We're not gonna. Well, I mean, we're gonna probably deep dive more than we intend to because that's what we do. Well, we're gonna do that, and then we're also gonna talk about the sort of frequency, energetic side of it. I've become more over the last probably 6 years convinced on the importance of mindset, subconscious mind, our energy, our intention, and when we pair that with our goals and our actions, I think that's pretty freaking powerful combo. And then we're going to do Would You Rather, which I think is so funny. And there's some funny ones in here. And I can't wait to hear what you have to say.
Oh, I can't either.
Okay.
I don't know what they are. So just to be clear.
I know. I'm always like, don't read it.
Too.
Don't read it.
Yeah.
Annalie hasn't read any of them yet.
I'm excited to see what I'll say also. Let's get into it.
Let's do it.
All right. Economic model. So the numbers behind your goals. We talked a little bit last time, which feels like it's been 7 years ago. But the last time we recorded, we were talking a little bit about how we were getting ready to goal set, right?
Yep.
And the economic model to me, like I used to do it. There's a spreadsheet that the MREA book has, the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book has, that starts with how much money you want to make, and then it goes backwards and gets you down to how many appointments you need to set for the year, right? Now that I've been doing it for so many years in a row, I think that I started business planning that way in 2007.
Yeah.
So that's too many years for me to count.
Yeah.
I do it simpler.
Yeah.
I kind of just know where I'm at. I know at Keller Williams, we're on a cap system. So I know what my split to the company is going to be. It's a flat number that I can just like drop in. My expenses for the last several years have been pretty much the same. So I have some of those economic numbers that I can just know. And then I just add a little bit to them each year or decide if I want to spend more. So I do it a little differently than this. I kind of go backwards a little bit. But so let's get into how it's supposed to be done. And I'm going to let you take this on a little bit because I do it differently. My team also has all been doing it since 2018. And so they just come with it done to our business planning. Like we used to have to go through it and talk through it. And like, how do you get here? And what questions do you have? And do you have your conversion ratios? They all track all of everything and they all know it and they come with it done. So I have not had to coach anyone through it in a minute.
Well, neither have I, but I'll do my best. It's been a minute since I've done this. And I will also say this, again, what I was going to say when we started talking was that AI is a huge tool and you could very easily just like go to ChatGPT or Claude or whatever you use and say, I want to make this much money. My cap at my company is this much. My tax, I use 25% for like just talk to your CPA. We're not CPAs.
Yeah, I use 30.
But yeah, 25 to 30% for whatever you're going to pay in taxes. You can plug that all in and say, what do I need to sell? So I think going through right now, what are the major metrics that you need to know in order to figure out at least the basics to start? So when I was coaching, particularly new agents or even people new to the industry, there are a lot of people that are coming from corporate that are making 80 grand a year, and that's a pretty good living. Mm-hmm. When they come into real estate, they classically say, I want to make 100 grand a year.
Yeah, it's kind of you've ever,
six
if you
figures.
are an agent, you probably had this thought, but just like, if I can get to six figures, I'll have it.
Yeah.
Like I'm done. I'm good.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Yeah. So I'm going to just use that number and now we're going to talk about gross and net real quick, because if you make 100 gross, which is what you would make if you were working in some company where you were W-2'd employed, they're taking out taxes before your check comes home. You probably don't have a lot of expenses. So it's going to look different, but keep in mind that your take home then in theory is going to be, it's less than 100 grand,
right?
Assuming. So if you're making 100 grand gross, and we're going to use even numbers, 25% of that is going to go to taxes. You end up with 75 take home. Mm-hmm. And then I'm doing this slightly backwards too. But then let's say you're going to factor in some business expenses. If you're a new agent, you don't have a team and you're not throwing events or you have sponsors, you can keep it to like 5 grand probably a year. Would you say? Like, this is pretty lean. New agent.
Yeah.
Signs.
You can. I mean, it costs, I think it costs about like $1,100 to keep your license every year or something like that. But yeah, I think
you can have a free CRM.
Lean.
You can have a free, there's a lot you
lean.
do. So then we're looking at 70 grand after taxes and expenses. Then you have a split tier brokerage. At our brokerage, we have an $11,000 cap right now.
13.
So, is it 13? Mm-hmm. Oh gosh. Okay. So 70 minus 13 is 57.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So after your top line expenses, you're really looking at 57 grand take home. If 100 grand is your gross. Mm-hmm. So often what I do is then if people what they really want is probably to net 100.
Yeah.
So then I'll take that 100 and go, okay, let's put the expenses on top of that. So we have a total of, what did I just say? What's 50? So that's 60, 40, 43.
43.
So add 43 grand. It's not going to come out exactly the same because now then the percentage is off of 143. Right. But so then let's just say 150 grand gross.
Yeah.
Hopefully people are tracking with me. I just kind of want to illustrate that if you're not thinking about your cap tier brokerage, if you're not thinking about your taxes, and you're thinking, I made 100 grand, you're really, and wondering why you're having a tough time paying your bills, is because you really only brought home 57.
Yeah.
And that's not a lot
No.
for today's expenses.
No, I mean, we talked in an episode about how much it takes to be quote unquote happy in your state, like comfortable. Mm-hmm. Comfortable was what it was. And I think it was in Minnesota, it was 93,000.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I would
as
say
an individual.
Now, if you take 150 gross and then you take off 25% from that, I mean, the numbers are going to shake out a little bit differently. Mm-hmm. It's not going to be perfectly 100 grand, but
that's why you round it up.
Yeah. Yeah. So we have 150 gross. So then like the most simple way that I can do this is go, okay, what's your average sale price? And I'm just going to use the Metro's average sale price, which I think is probably, I don't know, it's probably close to 400 now, but 350?
I think it's 400 right now.
Okay. Mm-hmm. I want to use
as high
an
as
easy.
450.
What would make it 10 grand commission is about 350 or something like that. 9.
Yeah.
Okay.
You could call it that.
Let's just say the average home price is $350 and your gross commission then is $10,000.
Yeah. So let's pause for a second. Some things to find out. So if you get your top line number, how much you need to gross, then you have an idea of then what you will net. Mm-hmm. Those are the first two things that you want to get to. Mm-hmm. And so the net would be what you're actually going to take home. Mm-hmm. If you add on top of that expenses, and you can either look to what you spent last year, or if you're new, pick a small number and then stick to it. Mm-hmm. Then don't go crazy buying everything that you see. Mm-hmm. But expenses, split tier, broker.
Yep.
Remember split, we didn't talk about, like we have a 6%.
Yeah, you're right. to the
royalty
national.
to international. So make sure you're looking at all of those expenses to your brokerage.
You might have a transaction fee to your brokerage as well that you may or may not know about. I recruited a lot of agents who didn't realize they had a $300 per transaction. It wasn't going to a transaction coordinator. It was going to the brokerage, and it was not to charge to the client. It was on top of that.
Wow.
So then you have, if you're doing 25 or 30 units at $300 a pop, that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
So people often aren't realizing how much is just going without them realizing it.
Yeah.
So
So
check
make
into
sure
that.
you're looking into all of
Yeah.
that. What is coming out of any check that you get? And then after you get that check, what is going into your business? So what are those expenses? And then what is going to taxes?
Yep.
Or what do you want to plan for taxes? So, and that should get you to your gross number. So that's like step one.
Yep.
Step two is, if you've been in the business, look back at last year and look and figure out what your average sales price was. If you are new to the business, use either your office's average, or I would go on the low end. A lot of new agents typically work with more first-time buyers. I would also look at what your age is.
Yep.
Like, I know I've had agents on my team that were in their 20s, and their average sales price was way below the market average.
Yep.
For the first couple of years, because mostly they were working with their friends and people that already knew them, and they were buying first-time
First-time
home buyer,
homes,
condos, townhomes, entry level. So kind of, and then I know other agents who are very established and have a sphere that they're in their 50s and they get into real estate, and their average sales price starts at $750. So kind of look at
who are you going to be working with? What's their price point?
Who are your people?
Yeah.
And then go plan low.
Yeah.
I would always go lower
Be
than you think it's
conservative.
going to be.
Yeah.
And be conservative.
Yeah.
So you want to know your average sales price, and then what that translates to for average commission per
Yep.
transaction.
So yeah, because it also depends on what you're charging for commission. Again, we
Right.
can't fix commission, but I always in my head just use a flat 3 because it's easier math for me. So if the home sells for 500,000, then that's 15 grand.
Yeah.
1% of 500,000, if it's 5 times 3 is 15. So
Yeah. So know what you're planning to charge,
Yeah.
because again, some people's businesses, they might be charging 4% on a listing.
Yep.
So I know that there's a group in our office that charges 3.5%.
Yep.
I personally charge a little bit more for land because I
Yep.
tend to hold it longer and I spend more.
Yep.
And I'm driving more.
Yeah.
So know what yours is going to be.
Yeah.
This is also a good time to look at, if you've been in the business, what was my average? Did I get caught like unknowingly cutting commission all year last year to get listings, or to feel like I needed to do
Right.
that to get buyers or to get sellers? And then this is a time where you can address a skill gap, right? If I thought mine was 3, but when I actually look back, it was 2.25.
yeah.
What happened? And
Well-
is there a skill gap there? And this is a great time to kind of like say,
Yeah.
oh, wow, there is a huge opportunity there. If you raise your average commission by 1%,
Oh, it's huge.
it's a huge
Yeah.
amount of money in your pocket.
Yeah.
So,
okay, two things. Your earring's going to fall out on this side. It's really, really distracting me. The first one.
Oh,
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Wow.
The other thing I
I'm
was going to
falling
say,
apart.
so we're doing this more conversationally. In a lot of ways, this is easier if I have a worksheet in front of you and I can, because it's pretty linear. It can kind of like take you to down a line and you can see it. I think what we're doing right now, hopefully, is filling out the conversation enough for you to understand the pieces of the puzzle. Then you can go, I mean, if you just Google Millionaire Real Estate Economic Model, you'll see a worksheet. You
Everywhere,
can,
yeah.
or you can use ChatGPT to say, I want you to use this model. What numbers do you need from me? The other thing I want to say along that commission line is that a lot of people also aren't tracking what percentage of their businesses list versus buy. Typically, the commission is different for those two. So if you're working with 90% buyers and it's a little bit lower commission, the numbers are going to shake out
a
differently.
lot of people don't know how many lists versus buys they did.
Or what they want to do. Yeah. Like they're just not tracking it. And
Yeah,
we'll talk
yeah.
about that. They're
Yeah.
just like, I don't know. I think it's blah, blah, blah. And then I would have their production printed out in front of me. And very often they were way off.
Interesting.
And they were also remembering that they sold more than they actually sold. And so and that's okay. Like I could see myself being in that boat too. If you're not tracking, you're just not tracking, but you need to know those things. So worst case scenario, you don't know it. Your broker will have those numbers. You can go to them and say, can you give me my data from the last X number of years? But worst case scenario, you could average out the two between buy and sell and just say, what was my average commission and what was my average sale price? Yeah. So then you get that. And let's just say it's $10,000 is the average commission because the average sale price is around $350. So in the case where you want to gross $150,000, then you need to close 15 units in order to get the $115,000. So you have 15 units. The next thing you need to figure out is how many appointments do I need to go on in order to, two things, take the client, and then how many clients do I need to take in order to sell the listing or the buyer? Because I've got buyers under contract right now that I don't know if they'll ever close. You know, are they actually serious buyers? They signed a representation agreement. I've got sellers, like, will they sell this year or next year? I don't know. So you really need to be tracking more than just how many appointments you're going on. It's how many appointments I'm going on, how many people agree to work with me, and out of the number of people that agree to work with me, how many are actually going to close. And so if I had a worksheet in front of me, then we could just take that, go down those lines and see. There are, and I would just Google this, I don't have these numbers in front of me, but you could probably Google what are the average conversion ratios for those different steps right now. If you haven't tracked yours, if you have your appointments on your calendar, but you haven't been tracking them, go back and look. How many appointments did I go on? How many people signed contracts? And how many of those closed? And then you know your conversion ratios. And
I will say we also track set.
That's good.
So we track set, appointments held, contracts signed, contracts closed. Those are the four numbers that we on. And I will say, I don't report set held because as a primarily listing agent,
primary list, both make sense, but
as being a listing agent primarily,
there you go.
Figured it out. I got there.
You did.
Took a minute. I have found in the last 3 years that I have had 0 cancellations. Like if they sat with me, I think
we talked about this in one of our previous things too. Like I found the FSBO appointments that I was setting were a much higher cancellation rate than database sets. And so
it's going to depend
if you really want to track really well, you also want to track the source of the lead because you'll see different conversion ratios 100%. For different sources.
Yeah, you should for sure know what your source is all the time and be tracking that. My buyer's agents, I will say, always track set to held because that is a higher cancellation rate. A lot of those buyers are coming from internet leads, open houses, right? They're setting and they're like, yep, we'll do it. And then the day of the appointment, they mysteriously have something come up.
So one of the great benefits of tracking all of that information is being able to see a couple of things. Where's your best ROI? Where's my time and money best spent? And then also, where are my gaps? Like if you know what the
gaps I was talking about.
If you know what the average is, then you can go back. So, but we don't have to dive into all of that today. So, okay. So then you figure out
let's dive into everything.
I know.
Have a 7-hour episode.
Oh my God.
It'll be great.
So then you figure out, okay, I need to go on X number of listing appointments and X number of buyer appointments. Whenever I coach somebody down to this point, I would look at them and go, how does this feel to you? You can make $100,000 if you go on this many appointments. And usually the number of appointments is not that high. Especially when you break it down by month. If it's like, oh, I need to close 15 units and it means I need to go on, let's just say on the high end, 50 appointments. Like let's say your conversion ratio sucks and you need to go on 50 appointments this year. That's 12 months. What's the math? 6 appointments a month. So however many a week.
1.5 a week.
That's not that many appointments.
No.
So when people go look at that, they're like, oh, this is doable.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, this is doable. Now the next question, which gets into lead gen, and I don't know that that's like a whole different model, but then it's really, what are the activities that are driving me to the appointments? And that's just like a different conversation, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. I think we could talk about that maybe next week is kind of getting into, because we just talked before we jumped on here, like my team does it a little bit differently again in that we look what our database is providing for us, and then we look at what the gap is between what we expect from our database, and that's repeats and referrals from that group of people. And then we say, okay, what activities do we need to do to fill in that gap? And then we plan to fill in the gap. And then if we've been doing those activities before, we have that track record to say, okay, well, if I'm going to work expireds, I know I'll set an appointment every 50 contacts I make. Great. How many contacts do I make if I want to? And then do I just want to do expireds to fill that whole gap, or are there enough expireds to fill that whole gap? Because as market shifts happen, right, you have to get realistic, and that's where that's why it's a whole model because you have to do some research and say like, okay, this worked last year, but last year was this market. You know, things right now that worked in 2021 for us or 2018 for us, they are actually 2018 things are starting to work again. 2022 things not working anymore. So every year you're going to kind of have to say, what's the market doing?
The data?
Where are we? And what is going to work? Or do we have to shift and either shift our strategy in that arena or shift the arena? Right. So it's a lot.
So but
it's also like, again, I always call it like, that's the worm blanket.
You know what you need to do.
You know what you need to do. And you just go and you keep doing it until you get your appointments. And if you go on the appointments, you will
eventually get
your
some
conversions
clients.
Will work and you will end up at your goal.
So let's talk
I wonder if we freaked everybody out that has not done this before yet.
Well, maybe. I feel like I could imagine listening to this. It might feel a little overwhelming. And that's why I would say go to ChatGPT and print out a worksheet, or what numbers do you need from me? And if there's something that you're reading that you don't understand, say, hey, I don't understand this. Can you help me understand this?
Feel free to email us too. I
know there's another thing, if this took off, that I'd like to do would be like a group coaching thing or something.
For
that
sure.
would be so fun. One thing I was going to ask you, so how are you tracking? What are the practical tools? Is it a notebook? Is it an Excel spreadsheet? Do you do this weekly? Do you do this monthly? Like, when do you sit down and put a tally mark that says, I went on an appointment? Or how do your agents do it?
So we track in a bunch of different ways, multiple locations, for a myriad of reasons. So I'll start with, we use something called Commitment to Excellence, which you can look into, you can pay for it. It's a spreadsheet system that can track every single thing that you could possibly track in your business. We really use it to track, honestly, money and closings. We don't use it to track every appointment because it gets a little bit convoluted of like, well, I said it, but then, oh shoot, did I already count that I held it? There's not a great way to like, for me in my brain, it gets confusing really fast. It's great for the first 3 months. And then it's like, oh, I got to look back. And when did I count what? On our team, we meet weekly and we report all of that. We report set, held, signed, closed for the month. And then we report the month end at the end of the month. And then we report the year to date at the end of every month.
Perfect.
So we are holding each other accountable to staying on top of that. So all of a sudden it's not like, oh no, I haven't done this for 3 months. So we use something called a 411, which is a
goal tracking
and planning sheet, I would say. We all use those for all of our goals, not just economic goals, but business goals, personal goals, financial goals, personal development goals, all of that is on there. So and then that is a spreadsheet that has every month of the year in it, and it's broken down to 4 weeks in each year. So that is a continuous, it's all there. And then we have access to each other's, so we can all see each other's 411. So if I, as the business owner, am kind of wondering, are they on track? What's going on? This person's been a little detached or whatever, I can go in and kind of just see, are they tracking their goals? Have they been in their spreadsheet? Do they know what they're doing? Or are they doing it right before they come to a meeting? I'm a paper girl, as we've talked about. So I also, this year I'm doing things a little bit differently. Like I'm creating my own real estate tracking planner. Yeah. So it literally
I bet you could sell this.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. So mine will have a weekly overview. I do things like a meal planning overview in mine. Great. I do, and workout overview. Like I plan everything on paper and because I like to look at it every single day and be like, where am I?
Yep.
So in mine is on my weekly planner is how many appointments do I need this week? What are my activities that I'm doing? And then I time block those out on each day. What am I going to do and when am I going to do it? And then there's going to be I already have like a first 12 transactions of the year sheet that
huge.
Has the addresses and then where am I at for average sales price. It's like there's little check-ins. So I have a mid-year or mid-goal sheet, and then I have an ongoing sheet also of like my
She's
pipeline.
got all this. Seriously, you could probably like duplicate this and sell this. So a couple of things I want to just highlight there, because through all of the years in the industry, a couple of things that have been to me that I see themes for success for people is somewhere having your goals out in front of you visible.
That's why I do the paper version.
And for people that like Excel or that like to go paperless because it's environmentally friendly, whatever, like mad props to you for that. And I would ask you, how often are you working with that document? If you're not in there daily and it's not in front of you daily, it's probably not going to serve you the way it could. If you are really good about being habitually in there and like checking in and looking at it, great. But I would say the people that I've seen actually execute on their goals, have it printed out in the front of a notebook or in their computer, like a paper that's stuck in their laptop, that when they open it, their goal sheet for the week is there.
Yeah.
And if what we're talking about sounds like new and crazy and like a lot to you, we both have been in this environment where I'm going to call it group coaching, I think is what it would be, where every week there's small groups of people that get together and they set goals, personal business goals, and then they talk about them and they talk about what got in the way of them not hitting the goals if they didn't hit them. And so if you don't have that, you can ask your broker, is there somebody here that could do that with me? Is there somebody that could not just mentor me? Because mentor is like training, but is there somebody that I could meet with weekly to talk about goals and help coach me through hurdles getting in my way?
Yeah.
And if not, find a colleague. They don't have to even be at your brokerage. Find somebody and just meet with them weekly, have coffee, meet somewhere fun, do whatever, and just start the process. As you get into that, you're going to learn what works for you guys in terms of how to hold each other accountable in a way that's effective. It's really, I mean, there's a lot of books out there on the effectiveness of accountability.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and I will say my team, we used to meet in the office. Now we meet in the office about once a month, and the other times we meet at a brunch spot.
Yeah.
And we have brunch and coffee, and it's really chill. And we're just talking about, we start with kind of like the admin stuff that needs to get done for the week. And then when we go into goals, it's just like hanging out and talking and like, what happened? What are you going through? What do you need from us? How can we support each other? All of those kinds of things. So yeah, make it.
Okay.
I will say also, in our office, and we got away from this when COVID was happening and we weren't in offices, though I did have it all up in my home office. We have big frames, and we have a buyer frame and a seller frame, and every, I wouldn't even say lead. I would say when someone gets into our pipeline.
Yeah.
So like, we're pretty sure they're coming up in the next 12 months. They've had at least a deep enough conversation that we think it's, I would say, a 12-month client. They go up on the frame. And that is, there's an area that's, have they set, have they held, have they signed, have they closed? And we move them through that frame.
Like Post-its?
They're Post-its, yeah.
Okay, cool.
And then we just move those people through. And
So
that's
like a very
just
visual
a quick visual
pipeline.
of like, oh, I can see exactly what's going on. And then we have a closed section where we just throw them on the wall. So all the closed ones just go up on the wall.
That feels so fun too,
It is
to
fun.
see it. Yeah, that's great. Okay.
So
did we do it?
We tried in like 37 different areas, and
We did it.
It's my favorite.
Yeah.
I like when I know what's going on, and when you're hitting your goals and you're tracking them, it feels so good. And I will say, like, the last few years, I've not hit my goals.
Yeah.
And I haven't really cared. I've hit a number that made great sense for me financially, but I haven't hit what I actually set, and I haven't cared. When you're nailing it and you're like doing what you said you were going to do and you're hitting your goal consistently, or you're on month 9 and you're like, I'm ahead for the year.
Yeah.
Feels so good. And know it, but you have to track it to know that.
Yeah, totally.
So,
and that confidence and just like trust in yourself, I would say. If it's like, oh, I'm doing what I said I was going to do, like that carries over into all of life. Like, wow, I'm a person who follows through. Maybe I didn't used to be that way. Yeah. Or a lot of people are like, I didn't set goals till I came here, and I was 36.
Yeah.
I hadn't like set a goal. Like a measurable, quantifiable, SMART goal. I hadn't done that till I came here. Yeah.
I had been in real estate for 14 years. And I don't think I didn't really
dial it in
until I got to this office either. And that was 2018. So yeah.
Okay.
It's never too late to start.
No, it's never. Or start again. Like I was just telling you a couple days ago, because of how I've had to get my business going again, I've just been really much more focused on activity and keeping my mindset in the right place. And I was like, I have my stuff on my calendar, but I'm like, I don't know my ratios right now. I don't know them. And so I just I'm motivated right now. I'm excited to use some of the things that you were talking about and just put some fun visual tracking things in place, go back and look at how my year landed and what my goals are for next year. So yeah.
Love it.
Okay. I don't know how much of this I want to go into specifics, but I did want to talk about like energetic mindset stuff because of what we started with, just saying that I wouldn't say that I feel resistance in myself, because it actually doesn't feel like resistance, but it feels like a sensitivity to balancing this, like having a goal that is very activity based. That's like, I'm really salivating a lot today. I don't know why. It's really weird. I don't know what's happening. I'm like thirsty, and
I haven't noticed.
Haven't noticed. Hopefully, they don't notice it. Well, now everyone will know. But
yeah, listen for the
anyways,
Jen's slurping noise.
And I didn't even need a Starburst. I don't know what the deal is. This having like a very goal based, if FISBOs, it's like, okay, I'm going to make this many calls, or I'm going to spend this much time on the phone, and then see how, tracking the numbers and the activities. I'm pro that. I'm not anti that.
It's also very transactional.
Yeah. And I feel like until I got my mindset in the right place, and I say that not in a cliche way, if you guys go back and listen to the episodes, I mean, you saw it up close. I had days where I was really spiraling and very afraid, like really afraid this wasn't going to work. And maybe it was coincidence, maybe not, but it feels like as soon as I got out of that hole energetically to at least where I was neutral, like I wasn't like, wow, this is amazing, but I was like, I'm okay.
Yeah.
Everything's going to be okay. And
Yeah.
to me, that was just neutral ground. Then things started clicking and happening. And so again, maybe coincidence, maybe just enough time, maybe enough activities, but I do think there's for sure something, especially if you're like out prospecting or you're anywhere, you go on an appointment and somebody picks up fear on you, because with fear usually comes what else? Like desperation and need.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like people are like, they get kind of defensive and weird. And so
Yeah.
I think for a lot of reasons, just having like really good energy and mindset, and I'm going to use words that are very like buzzy. That's not the right way of putting it, but like being on the right frequency. There
Yeah.
are books that talk about what's the one, force versus effort or something, but it talks about that like pyramid of levels of frequency, and apparently they can measure like your energy, just like wavelengths from guitars and light and x-rays are like shorter and longer, that we emit energy just like light emits energy, which makes sense to me. And
We're
that
electrical beings. Yeah.
yeah, and that when we're in a negative state, our vibrational frequency, our vibes are actually lower frequency. They're longer waves and they're slower. And that when we're in joy or like a spiritual mode, that they're shorter wavelengths and they're a higher frequency. And so I don't know scientifically how much of that is what, and how much of that as humans we pick up on, but I think it's all interconnected. And I think like attracts like in that manner. And so when you kind of get on the quote unquote right frequency, you start repelling and attracting things that are in line with that or not, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, I'll even bring it, I'm going to bring it to a little less woo.
Yeah.
But you mentioned like how you show up with someone. I've had people that I mentor call me and say things like, I need this deal to happen.
Yeah.
And I will stop them and say, you don't need anything.
Yeah.
You need what's best for your client to happen. So what conversations are you having with them? And so I would just how you're showing up can shift so quickly when you're coming from, you show up differently in like a listing appointment for instance. Whew,
It's tough.
the words are so hard.
Yeah.
If you have 30 listing appointments in a month, or if you have one, right? Or if you 6 in a month versus 1.
Right.
Like if you have more than enough that you're going on and someone is not in line with your vibration, and they don't seem like they seem like they're going to be really hard to work with, or they're not talking about price in a way that you think is going to work, or they're not talking about allowing showings in a way that you think is going to work. Like you can very calmly be really clear with them about what they need to do to move forward, or you can't move forward. You might make a different decision if that's your only listing appointment in the month.
Right. Oh, yeah.
So just back to like
Yeah.
the simple ways that you you will have the ability to show up when you have abundance versus
Totally
lack is huge.
Totally.
And yes.
Okay.
I just want to like bring it to
That's
a little
so
bit
good.
like
less woo.
like, well, just a simplistic example of just, they call it commission breath, right? Like,
Totally.
People can smell you when you're coming in and you're like, I need this deal done.
Oh,
I will
and
do
that's
whatever it
such a
takes to get this deal done.
repellent, yeah.
And nobody wants to work with that.
Yeah.
And I also will say, this is a little bit of a sidebar, but I've seen like 4 things this week that have talked about how we are in a different era of consumerism with AI and people not being able to trust anything, with like what's real and what's not, with people using AI and Google. I mean, now Google is attached to AI, and they're getting answers that are not always correct, and they're not trusting that. They want real information. People thought they were getting that from the internet for a long time, but there's this new distrust with the internet. And they want if they're hiring someone, they want that person to come in and be clear and not give them like bait and switch, not dangle marketing things in front of them. They want actual solid information. And I think that's a cultural shift from where we've been. Like they're not necessarily drawn to the shiny object or the person that's going to do it for the cheapest or the person that has the best
Can I trust
marketing
you?
videos. It is like, give it to me straight, be my guide through this process, and actually consult me and be a fiduciary. And I think that's exciting that we're going in that direction. And I've literally seen 4 different articles to that extent, not about real estate, about consumerism, like this week, that there's a huge shift coming or in the process.
That's cool.
So,
That's really noteworthy. Okay. So the books that I've read in the last, a long time, but really even in the last 3 months: Born Rich, Think and Grow Rich, Love Money, Money Loves You, Super Attractor.
Jen, are you focused on money?
Yeah. Yep. I am.
I'm seeing a trend
it's
here.
Just a trend here. But then like Super Attractor, Too Big Magnetic is a program online. There's a lot of stuff over the years that is not necessarily money specific, but it's about like co-creation. How do I create the life that I want to live? And I'm just going to name the one theme that I've seen today, or I'm going to name that theme today, which is you need to become the person that is doing the things or achieving the things or receiving the things that you want before it happens. And so there's a lot of ways that you can do that, but these books, so maybe go grab those books or audio, listen to them or whatever. But it's really about it's partially about your subconscious programming and how do you reprogram that, which starts with mindset kind of, but goes a level deeper, like thinking, which we talked about before we hit record, is a big part of that, because if you have repetitive thoughts, that trains your subconscious brain. And your subconscious brain also, by the way, only receives things in the positive, not in the negative. So if you say, I don't want to be poor, all it really gets is like the being poor part. And so you want to state things in the affirmative. And you want it to be on repeat, like in a real way. And so I've said this in some of the past episodes, and now I've kind of fallen off for the last couple of weeks, but my like future day, my future self, a day in the life, and just affirmation statements, I was very vivid with 5 senses, and I had been for months listening to it at least once a day, which is like a 15-minute thing. Plus listening to these books.
And that was you reading it.
Yeah, I recorded myself reading it and then listened to myself over and over and over.
Voice
it was my own voice.
Telling you.
Like imagining the woman who does XYZ, the woman who has this kind of business, the woman who has this kind of health habits, the woman who has this kind of partner in her life. Like, okay, so, and then just really trying to like train my subconscious brain. And then the idea behind that is you actually start taking action as if you're that person, and you attract opportunities into your life. And you can see that, like, think about a person who walks into a room and they're really insecure.
Yeah.
Like, you can imagine what their posture is like, and maybe what they're wearing and what their eye contact is like or not like. And then you imagine somebody that's very confident but not cocky, and what do they show up like? So when you start imagining yourself being that person, you naturally will start to do small things that are not that small, that cause you to show up in a way that creates opportunity or not for yourself. That's kind of how I think it's some woo, but I think it's also pretty practical.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, can I bring this back to kind of business planning also? So one of the things that we do on my team, and I can't remember what they call it. Keller Williams has a name for it, but we just call it personal development. So we do personal development goals as part of our business planning. And that includes what I teach my team is if you look at we do this kind of at the end. So if you look at your economic goals, right? And I say like, oh, I've got a huge goal this year. Then we look at just what you were saying. Who do I need to be? And what do I need to feed myself?
Yeah.
So I call this the business planning is all about output, right?
Yeah.
It's about actions I'm going to take. It's about appointments. It's about money I'm going to spend on marketing or my budget. The very last thing we do is inputs.
Yeah.
So to do all of this output, what do I need to feed myself or input to be able to sustain this, to be able to feel excited about it? It could be literally going on a vacation, could be an input that I know I need to travel twice a year on a real trip where I completely unplug, because that's an input that my body needs to be able to produce this much output. Yeah. So ours includes like personal development books. So I was just telling you, I just bought my first personal development books for 2026. I'm already reading one. I'm cheating. I'm starting early.
Look at you, A+ student.
Because I didn't have any for December. So
she's an A-type.
Okay. I'm learning called type A a lot lately, like many people. It might be the boxes.
Nah.
Other inputs for me, I get kind of like over business every year around like, I don't know, August. I'm kind of like, is this year over yet? Like, I'm sick of these goals. These are boring. So now I've realized that my best years that I ever did in business was when once a quarter I traveled somewhere else. Could be close. It could be a drive.
Yeah.
But I went somewhere else for some sort of a training. And so like one year I flew to Washington to where Ben Kinney has his business. And I went to like a 3-day retreat on that wasn't even just business. It was like all different kinds of things. Our company has some great national conventions. They have Mega Camp in August. So when I was going once a quarter, I only did it 3 years and then COVID hit and I couldn't travel for a little bit and I haven't gotten back to it. Those were when I set like record years or I doubled or tripled my business like year over year.
Wow.
And so I think those were things that they were inputs that like got me, even if I didn't learn that much from it, it just got me reinvigorated and like, oh, I want to go home and I want to do this again. And it got me excited. So identifying those things and making a whole plan for the year. So again, I do like 12 boxes. So it's 3 things each quarter. And I try to do a book a month. If that's crazy for you, do 1 a quarter or 2 a year, just like whatever it is.
Cheat, I'm going to call it cheating and do an audiobook.
Well,
like,
no, of course.
Just it's an input. Yeah. I mean, if you want to binge our podcast, go ahead.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, is there a weekly podcast? Is there a daily thing? Is there a daily affirmation? Like but I plan all that out and the years that I plan it out. And sometimes I don't fill in all 12 boxes at the beginning of the year. I try to get my first quarter planned out. Exactly. You don't know what you might need. So I try to get my first quarter. And then I also do plug in things like, am I going to Mega Camp? Am I going to the Keller Williams National Convention? Or am I going to seek outside things? I need to plan that in advance. So I will plug those in. Yeah. And then each quarter I'll see like, okay, next quarter, how many boxes do I still have open? Yeah. And what do I need what do I need right now to make sure that I'm going to want to keep doing this to hit that economic goal?
I just want to emphasize the point you said about setting those in accordance with what your potential gaps are. So if you're looking at who is the person that I need to become, and let's just say as an example, you want to do social media, but you're just like terrified of getting in front of the camera, or you know nothing about video editing and you don't have the funds to hire somebody, or, you know, whatever your goals are, what are the gaps there, and what kind of information resource
Are you
coaching?
talking to me personally right now?
No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm actually not.
I identify with this.
Is you? Okay. But yeah, what are the gaps there? Is there a different kind of accountability? Is there maybe a social media coach you want to hire? Is there like, and then if you're like, I don't really know, sometimes we don't know what we don't know because we just don't have enough information. So then the first goal you might set is talking to 5 people who have killer social media accounts that you respect.
Yeah.
Okay. What do they do? How did they get started? What were the resources they had? Like, so then you can go, oh, they have a coach or they have a VA and that's something I want to work towards or whatever it might be. So a lot of people will look at that kind of like personal development, business development side of their goal setting and just kind of like throw shit at the wall and be like, well, I'll just go to the next training. But to pause and do what you guys are doing and go, what are the gaps of who I want to become or who I need to become? And then how do I feed myself inputs that are in alignment with those gaps? That's huge.
Yeah. And some years, I'll be honest, like some years, some of those things have been like get a massage.
Totally.
Go to the spa.
You just need to take care of yourself. Like sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes it's not even about
Sometimes
learning
you just need
something.
to have a Bloody Mary on a Sunday.
Maybe it's brunching more.
Yeah.
But no, seriously, like sometimes it has nothing to do with learning or growing. You don't, like it's not that serious.
Yeah.
Sometimes it is.
Yeah.
I need every month to get a massage.
Yep.
And that's going to be a business expense because that is an input I absolutely need. And I'm going to budget for it in my business. So it doesn't have to be all like learning, growing, pushing. This is again about feeding.
Everything should be
It's about
hard.
feeding yourself.
So good. Are we done with this? I'm so hungry
Really like
right now.
feeding myself. I'm making you dinner later.
I know. I'm really excited. Annalie's such a good cook, you guys, if you didn't know. Okay, you ready for some Would You Rather?
Can't wait.
Okay. We're going to kick it off with a spicy one.
Oh. Why do I let you do this?
Don't know. I'm not sure, to be honest.
I really should.
It's not that spicy.
Okay, well that coming
Would
from you, that
you
means it's
rather-
probably way spicier than I'll be prepared for. Okay.
Would you rather be touring with buyers who are fighting during all of the showings or who are making out at every showing?
Oh,
Like you walk in the room behind them and they're
you're
making
just making out. Wow. You're crying.
I find this so hilarious.
I am trying to imagine. I have had people kind of get into it.
Making out?
No, fighting.
Oh.
Like
Yeah, I have too.
where they're not on the same page,
Yeah.
or like they obviously came in with some energy.
I think I'd rather have them making out.
Of course you would. I think I'd rather them fighting.
Really?
Well,
I feel
will
like
be
you're good
honest.
at handling fighters.
I will be
You're just
honest,
like, you guys, come on.
No.
Oh.
I had some clients that there were 3 people that were all in consideration in the decision making.
Yeah.
And they were on 3 different pages when it came to
You're
what
good at
they thought the
mediating.
best thing was. It was a lot of therapy, but I thought that it felt like I got to use my skill set. And I was therapizing a lot, but I would much rather therapize than watch people making out.
I wouldn't watch them.
What would you do?
I would be like, guys, come on, you can get a room, but you can't have this one. I would say something. I wouldn't stand there and watch them. Weirdo.
I don't know. I don't know what you would do.
I'm gonna say something. I'm
Okay.
gonna walk away and be like, I'll see you
okay.
guys later. Okay. All right. Would you rather deal with a lockbox that's completely frozen or a car door frozen so you had to crawl across the seat to get out?
Oh, car door. Frozen lockboxes are the worst.
Yeah, they are the worst.
I've hurt myself trying to open them, like really hurt myself, like
Yeah.
bleeding. I just saw, shout out, girl that used to be on my team.
Yeah.
She posted recently, because it's Minnesota and it's winter here, that she used like half a bottle of hand sanitizer and still couldn't get a lockbox open. Because do you know that trick?
No.
You put hand sanitizer on it and it melts.
Yeah. I didn't know that. Wow.
We have an agent in this office that I was helping while he was out of town. He was like seeing family for an extended period of time. And there was a condo listing really close to our office that the lockbox kept freezing.
Oh, no.
And I had to literally bring over, like, I brought my coffee carafe full of like hot water multiple times to pour on it, get it all open. And finally I just moved it. It was like getting snow blown on and then just filling full of water when it got warm at all. So anyway, it was
that's wild.
it's a real thing.
Okay. Would you rather have to whisper all of your communications with your clients or type all of your communications in all caps for 30 days?
Type. All caps. Let's go. I'll shout via capitalization all day long. Whisper. I couldn't do it. You know me. I can't whisper all the time.
It would be funny to hear you try.
I can't even. I don't want to do it. It feels bad.
That's why it'd be so funny. Okay.
Does Tuesday at 2 work for you?
Everything sounds mildly sexual. Does Tuesday at 2 work for you? Oh my gosh.
I think this house is overpriced. Did that sound sexual?
Not really.
See, I tried really hard to find something that wouldn't.
Good. That's a good job. This one isn't that. Let's see if I can. Oops. So sorry. Let me put a couple together that are more funny. Would you rather be working with a client who sounds exactly like Kermit the Frog, or be in a showing and have a surprise person in the house?
Kermit the Frog. Maybe it's his name is maybe it's Patrick Mahomes and he's going to buy a really giant house.
Oh, he sounds no, but we're going to say exactly like Kermit the Frog.
Great. I'll take it.
I would get the giggles all the time. It would be tough for me.
I would just try to sound as much like Miss Piggy as possible. Make it a thing.
Hey, let's have this be a thing. Let's see. Wasn't that funny? Would you rather be wearing 2 different shoes at your appointments or discover that you had a giant booger hanging out of your nose during a listing appointment?
2 shoes. I think.
That feels
2
like
shoes.
an easy one.
I feel like I could justify the 2 shoes.
Would you rather work with a buyer who brings their entire extended family on appointments, or a seller who insists on guiding the tour themselves every time?
Oh God. You've broken my brain. Oh.
They're like, get out of the way, Annalie.
The seller is going to be there when the buyer's there and give it to her? Is this what we're saying? No. The buyer. I don't care. Bring a circus with you as the buyer.
You don't want the seller and the buyer in the same room.
No.
No, I get that. That's a little tricky. Let's see. Would you rather, if bringing clients in your car was a thing, hypothetically, would you rather drive a client in a car that smells like a wet dog, or a passenger door that only opens from the outside?
Passenger door.
Yeah, you just...
Both would be embarrassing.
I know.
I mean, I did one time. I've notoriously not been a clean car person, which is weird because I am pretty type A.
Yeah.
But I have been more of a clean car person in the last 2 years, but I've been very purposeful about it. Like I get my car detailed, and anyway, there have been times in my past where a client has wanted to get in my car and like, we're going to go see 8 houses. And at the first house, they're like, well, can we just ride with you? And then we'll just circle back to this one. And I'm like, no, because we're ending like 20 minutes away and I have to go to the next appointment. Like there's no way that's going to work. Or I've just used the insurance excuse.
Yeah.
But not because my car was too dirty.
It was too dirty.
I was like, you can't get in my car. Like you will never work with me.
Shit
I literally
everywhere.
have like
McDonald's
things.
wrappers,
Something.
tampons.
Whoa.
Not just like a box of them.
I don't have a box of tampons in my car. What?
I feel like that's what women have, just laying around the back
Just
seat.
everything.
Yeah. Okay. 2 more. Would you rather take a shot every time someone says, we'll see what happens, or we're not in a rush? I don't really get that.
I don't either. Neither.
I feel like we kind of already covered this ground, but we'll just wrap it up with this one.
Okay.
Would you rather walk in on sellers, quote unquote, celebrating, or buyers asking to test the bed because it comes with a house? It's horrible.
Both are extremely inappropriate.
Unlikely and inappropriate.
That's right. Neither.
Although my sister, who owns a staging company, has stories.
Oh, I bet.
She hasn't walked in on people, but she's like, no, there's a reason that I use air mattresses. You don't want people. She's had people do things.
In a state, like in a vacant home?
Vacant home that's staged with like, she used to use real mattresses because she's like, airbeds don't look the same.
Yeah, they don't look great.
But she had issues with that.
What?
Yeah.
I have so many questions.
Yeah. Maybe we'll bring her on someday.
Because there's supposed to be an agent present.
It's probably the agent.
What?
Yeah. Agent brings a date to an empty house and has a picnic.
Wow. Well, this ended not the way I thought it was going to.
Welcome to my brain.
I am flabbergasted.
Yeah, me too.
Okay. You're the one who said it. You knew the story. Okay, well.
Okay, we're done?
We did it.
Whew, well, that's all then, folks, for this week's episode of Real Estate Done Rightish. Until next time, cheers to doing it rightish.
How fast?
You decide. We don't want it slow, but we don't want it like. I mean, it could be funny if we do it fast.
I don't know how fast I can do it. We'll try. I'll just do it as fast as it feels okay. The information, opinions, and recommendations presented in this podcast are for general knowledge and informational purposes only and do not constitute professional, legal, or financial advice. As licensed real estate agents in the state of Minnesota, we are not attorneys, financial advisors, or tax professionals, and we cannot provide advice in those areas or in regards to any agency or broker-specific topics in any other state. Any reliance you place on the information provided in this podcast is strictly at your own risk. We strongly encourage you to consult with qualified professionals for specific guidance related to your individual circumstances.